Look, what I'm about to tell you isn't going to be easy to hear. It might hurt. It might open wounds you've spent years trying to heal with emotional band-aids. But it needs to be said. Because you deserve to understand what's happening inside. Maybe these words won't solve everything. Maybe they won't erase decades of pain, but they will help you understand, to feel less alone on this journey, and most importantly, to stop trying to control what was always outside your control. If you grew up with an absent father, physically present, but emotionally dead, or simply non-existent, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. And it's time to break this cycle once and for all. Carl Jung, the great psychoanalyst, said that the greatest tragedy of the family is the son not lived in the father. Do you understand what that means? It means that when a father cannot truly be a father, he kills a part of himself that should live through his children. And you, son, inherit this emotional death. You grew up waiting for him to show up at the school play, waiting for the phone call on your birthday, waiting for him to ask how your day was, about your fears, your dreams, waiting for him to teach you how to be a man, how to approach a woman, how to face the world with courage. But he never came, did he? And do you know what's crueler? That he's there. He breathes the same air as you, eats at the same table, but he treats you like a polite stranger, as if you were just another person he needs to tolerate in his life. Arthur Schopenhauer, a philosopher who deeply understood human pain, said, "Every man takes the limits of his own field of vision as the limits of the world. Your father couldn't see you because he couldn't even see himself. His coldness isn't about you, it's about his own emotional incapacity." Do you know the difference between being an orphan of a dead father and an orphan of a living father? The orphan of a dead father can idealize, can create fantasies, can imagine what it would be like if he were there. But you, orphan of a living father, have to live daily with the reality that he chose not to know you. Søren Kierkegaard, who also had a complicated relationship with his father, wrote, "Life can only be understood backwards, but it must be lived forwards." You spent years looking back, trying to understand what you did wrong, why you weren't enough, why he didn't choose you. And here's the truth that will hurt. You never did anything wrong. You were a child. Children don't have the responsibility to earn their parents' love. They have the right to receive it unconditionally. But he failed. And that failure created a void inside you that you've been trying to fill your whole life. With work, with relationships, with achievements, with anything that proves you have worth. Friedrich Nietzsche, who lost his father at age 5, understood something profound about trauma. What does not kill me makes me stronger, but first it almost kills you. And you know that. That fear of being a father that you carry, it's the fear of repeating the cycle. It's the terror of looking at your child one day and not knowing how to love them, how to be present, how to be what you never had. That difficulty in trusting completely in relationships? It's because you learned early on that even the people who should love you unconditionally can emotionally abandon you. That tendency to shut down when things get serious? It's your protection mechanism. If you don't give yourself completely, it won't hurt as much when the person inevitably leaves you. At least that's what your subconscious believes. Epicurus taught that the root of all evil is insecurity, and you grew up in the greatest possible insecurity, not knowing if you are worthy of paternal love. This has contaminated everything. Your relationships, your ambitions, your self-esteem, even your ability to accept good things that happen in your life. Marcus Aurelius, who also dealt with issues of fatherhood as emperor and father, wrote, "You have power over your mind, not over outward events. Realize this and you will find strength." But you spent years trying to have power over something external. Your father's love. How many achievements have you accomplished hoping he would finally recognize your worth? How many times have you pushed yourself beyond normal just to hear, "And I'm proud of you," that never came? And when you tried to approach him, when you let your guard down and extended your hand, he treated you with the same coldness as always. Like a knife in the heart, wasn't it? Because every attempt you made was proof that you still had hope, and he killed that hope every time. Seneca said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." But your suffering is real. His absence was real. The lack of guidance was real. The feeling of having nowhere to run when the world collapsed was real. Now comes the most important part. Viktor Frankl, who survived Nazi concentration camps, discovered something revolutionary about human suffering. He said, "Everything can be taken from a man but one thing, the last of the human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances. You cannot change what your father was or failed to be. You cannot go back in time and have the childhood you deserved. You cannot force him to love you the way you needed to be loved. But you can choose to break the cycle. You can choose to be the man he never was. You can choose to build the family you never had. You can choose to find a woman who understands your journey, who sees your scars not as weaknesses, but as proof of your strength to survive and still love." John Stuart Mill wrote about the importance of finding a partner who is truly a companion on the journey, and you need someone like that. Not a woman who tries to fix you, nor one who pities your story. You need a woman who understands that your silence sometimes isn't disinterest, it's protection. That your difficulties with emotional intimacy aren't coldness, they're fear. That your determination to be a good father one day isn't obsession, it's healing. A woman who is willing to build with you everything you dream of. A successful career based on your hard work. A family where children will never wonder if they are loved. A home where "I love you" are not just words, but daily actions. Aristotle said that true friendship is based on mutual virtue. You need someone who sees your virtues, your ability to resist, your determination to be better, your courage to love despite everything, and who wants to build something beautiful alongside. That Plato taught about the importance of breaking the chains of ignorance. The chains you carry are of emotional abandonment, absence, coldness. But you hold the key to breaking them. When you become a father, and you will, if you choose, your children will never wonder if you love them. They will know, because you will be present. Not just physically, but emotionally, mentally, spiritually. They will never grow up waiting for a phone call from you, because you'll be there even before they need to call. They'll never feel like strangers to you, because you'll know them better than they know themselves. Heraclitus said that no man can step into the same river twice. The river of your family will be different. The water that flows in it will be clean, nourishing, full of life. Here's what you need to understand to heal. Your father was a broken man raising another man. He didn't have the emotional tools to be a father because he probably didn't have an emotional father either. The cycle of emotional abandonment may have come from generations. This doesn't excuse him. It doesn't minimize your pain. It doesn't mean you have to forgive him or try to have a relationship with him. It just means you can stop taking it personally. Nietzsche also said, "Whoever fights monsters should see to it that in the process, he does not become a monster." The monster here is emotional coldness, absence, the inability to love. You fought against that your whole life, and you won, because you can still love, you can still dream, you can still want to be better. Confucius said, "It does not matter how slowly you go as long as you do not stop." You never stopped. Every day you wake up and choose to be better, you honor that boy who grew up without paternal guidance. Every time you treat someone with kindness, you prove that coldness is not hereditary. Every time you put effort into a relationship, you show that emotional abandonment is not your DNA. You don't need his recognition to validate who you've become. You became a man despite him, not because of him. And that is more powerful than any paternal blessing you could have received. The cycle ends with you. The lineage of absent fathers dies here, and a new lineage of present men, emotionally available, courageous enough to love completely, is born. This is what it means to heal. It's not forgetting the pain, it's transforming it into wisdom. It's not forgiving those who hurt you, it's freeing yourself from the prison of resentment. You deserved a better father. But you became the better man your future children will have as a father. And that, my friend, is the greatest victory possible. Remember what I said at the beginning? That it would hurt? I hope it hurt in the right way. Like it hurts when a doctor cleans an infected wound. It hurts. But it's necessary for healing to begin. You are not alone on this journey. Millions of men carry the same wound. But few have the courage to face it head-on and decide that the cycle ends with them. You have that courage. You always have. It's time to use it. If this message resonated with you, like it, share it, and subscribe to join our growing community of strength and wisdom.